I am the man behind the Panzer. And if you agree or not, I think Company of Heroes should have been not a World War II game. At least Company of Heroes 3. When you have a franchise, that releases its first game back in September 12th, 2006, and to this day, 19 years later, is still a World War II game, and we're still playing the Germans, you got a problem. You have a true problem. Now, most of you know, I think Company of Heroes 3 should have been a World War I game, but I think it shouldn't have a single-player campaign either. I know that's a hot take there, even though I like single-player games over multiplayer games, mainly because I'm bad at them. But let's deep dive into this shitfest, shall we? I truly believe that Company of Heroes 3 should have been a World War I title. Now, of course, you could see the obvious reasons for them becoming or continuing with a World War II is for the audience, for number one, and also number two, it's for, at least I would think, to reuse assets and to cut down costs, as you could probably already tell with Sega and Relic buying themselves out from under them because of Sega cutting down, yada, yada, yada. There is a shit ton of content for the World War One RTS Company of Heroes if they were to actually do it. I mean, we could just go with the very basic, just looking at armies. You have the classic players, of course, Germany, Britain, United States, stuff like that, right? But then you have the new players on the block, the new armies, the fresh faces that we could finally play. France, Italy, not a doctrine, Belgium. You could even go with Japan. You can just do all these interesting things with these different factions and then add unique doctrines, which we're going to get into. Unique doctrines on top of that to reflect these nations. It's just a win-win. And if we're going to continue on winning, why not we talked about customizable doctrines? I still have no idea why they have never added this into the game. Now, Relic does not have a good history with balance. I am a big critique on that, though you guys don't see it. Is something like that to be able to unlock, to customize, to put like something like Smoke Barrage is 1 point. Like let's say you just open up a doctrine. A doctrine has a maximum of 25 points. A Smoke Barrage is 2 points. A King Tiger is 15 points. Maybe he's labeled as a heavy and you can only have one heavy in a doctrine. There's a way to balance it, but also a way to get players engaged and to customize their playstyle and actually support their playstyle with the doctrine that they want to customize in of themselves, which also has the carrot on the stick of when you're playing multiplayer or you're playing other things in the game that will reward them to then, I want to work for this, I want to work for that. That carrot on the stick. Come on, Relic. One big gripe that I kind of have with Company of Heroes 3 is that the single player campaign. Now, I do give them props. They did try something new, but I feel that it was a waste of energy, resources, time, mainly because Company of Heroes is a multiplayer game. It has its mainstay in multiplayer. So why wouldn't you invest everything you possibly have into making it easy, fun, something brand new, something interesting, but you create this campaign that really isn't going to go for anything, really. I feel like it is truly a waste, and that's why I think Company of Heroes should not have single-player content in that regard as a campaign. I believe that they should have co-op missions. Now, I know that Company of Heroes 2 did try to do co-op missions, I think with a little bit more effort and in a World War I setting, and also making it into its own matchmaking, so you could actually queue with people instead of inviting them or playing with AI, so you could actually play with real people and coordinate with different difficulties, but also its own reward structure and also its own leaderboards if you actually have hard enough missions to, time it if you want to be timed. That would be great. That would add so much more flair. And then on top of that, if we're going with the World War One, it works for World War II, but World War One is kind of the scene, is a horde mode. Company of Heroes is in desperate need of a horde mode, and overall, it just needs more PvE content, like I said, with co-op missions. I mean, along with the co-op, imagine where co-op can take us. Okay, we're talking about World War I here. Got a Battle of Passchendaele, the First Battle of the Marne, Battle of the Somme, Battle of Verdun, the Gallipoli campaign, the Battle of the Hindenburg Line. You have all of these different battles and that just have never been seen in that way. Amazing co-op missions with each mission has its own either little story or interesting characters or characters based on real people or real events that happened during these battles would be there's just so much there. There's just so much, and especially if they're co-op. And again, matchmaking is the key part here, in case you don't have friends like me. because Depp left us. That's a side note. It'd be great. Company of Heroes is in a dire need of a reward structure that is clear and bountiful. Yes, bountiful. Meaning that while you're playing the game, of course, you get your replayability from playing different people, different factions, all that other stuff, right? But also, you want to feel some kind of progression. Sure, ranked or, just leveling up in general for your account, not just in terms of ranked. But there should be something like camos, skins, the way you can customize the sergeants in your squad or the tank commander. You want to be able to customize. These things should be ready for you to unlock as you complete challenges, either in quick match or in co-op, and you should be freely to use. There needs to be something like that for people in the game to just go for, on top of just having fun, right? Just playing the fucking game. I believe that Company of Heroes should go, or at least Company of Heroes 3 should have gone in a World War One direction. There was so much content there from all the battles, all the different armies, all the new tanks, airplanes, barrages, tactics, all the cosmetics, everything, right, is all there for them. And it's just waiting to be harvested. They just need someone to see it. In conclusion, Company of Heroes 3 at least should have been a World War One game with all the content from battles to different units to all the cosmetics to all the different scenarios, the stories to tell. Company of Heroes should have gone World War One instead of gone to World War Two. It would have been not only just a one giant leap forward for the franchise, I think it would have been a giant leap for the RTS to know what Relic can do with a World War One title if given the proper leadership by Sega. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.